Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to a new episode of Room Reveal TV. Get on in here and sit down. Act like you got a little sense. You know how I said Monique was like, post your contract to DL? You know he posted the contract, right? So, if you don't know, DL is a nigga. Like, it's a difference. There's black people and there's niggas. DL is a nigga. But don't trip, because Monique a nigga too. So anyway, DL posts his contract, or what he says is a contract. It says deal memo. It does say status confirmed. I'm gonna post it right here in the video. You can pause the video and read through it if you'd like, but I just want to highlight that it does say artists to be highest paid on show, artists to have approval of lineup and running order of show. Lineup: DL Hughley, closing, Monique, Ada, local radio station host. That's what it does say. I'm going to read you what DL said when he posted this. He said, after this, I don't want to hear no more about this here. I don't want to hear no more about this. Here it is in black and white. The only thing blacked out is personal and bank info. Pay attention to headliner, highest paid artist on show, artists to have approval of lineup of the show, DL closing. Receipts are greater than opinions. I got everything that was stated in my contract. Everything. But let's say I didn't. My beef wouldn't be with anyone but the promoter and or my team. And I damn sure wouldn't make it personal. If you have a problem, take it up with management. And by that, I mean yours. DL Hughley. Hashtag Team DL. Hashtag Kingship. So, now I seen that and I was like, Lord, DL Hughley is such a nigga. Ooh, he's such a nigga. Because even though Monique said post your contract, I really didn't expect him to do it. So he did it. I keep almost calling Monique Nikki. I'm childish. Then Monique comes back around, and after he posts his, Monique comes back around and she posts hers. Now, Monique says she added DL Hughley because Shorty don't play, because she a nigga. And she said, there are some of you who were fooled by the smoke and mirrors of DL posting his deal memo versus his performance agreement. Here is my performance agreement, and here are emails and texts confirming that as per usual, I'm going to always keep it real and honest with my people. If you notice, mine has signatures and DL does not. What type of ironclad agreement doesn't have signatures of the participants involved? Apparently DL's, LOL. Now, when I read that, I said, ooh, she might have a point. Because I know you got to have a contract. But moving on, I'm going to go finish reading. Now, you told me to check with my management, and this is what I came up with. So how'd I do? Perhaps you should have taken your own advice, because I'm sure your team would have advised you against trying to pass a deal memo off as a contract. To those out there who thought a deal memo was the same as a performance agreement, especially some of the comedians, this is how we're constantly taken advantage of by the business. And just so you know, the promoter already told my team before the show that you didn't have a signed agreement. That's why I'm not surprised you're using a deal memo. That said, maybe they lied and you actually have a contract. If so, the promoters have put themselves in a terrible position to have more legal action taken against them, beyond malicious concealment for breaking the contract at the last second. That said, DL, we the people will be waiting for your signed agreement. So she posted a few different things, and right here she's going to list what each one is. So the first page is her signed contract. The only thing that's been redacted or blacked out here is like personal information, and her compensation amount, of course, and, bank information, which is personal information. The second page, which I'm going to insert now, is her email with the PDF of the run of the show. I don't know who PDF is, but that's what it is. And then the third is run of show. So this is what she was given and told. This is what she was given. This is what she was told will be the how the show will go. Additional, her fourth one was an additional email. An additional email with ROS. I guess that's run of show. So it was supposed to be Ada, DL, and then Monique. And then the last page, it says, what I walked into minutes after arriving to the theater. So this is what she's saying was changed from what she was given originally. This fool even uploaded a picture of her, an updated picture of her. Yeah, that's her picture. You know how chicks be. Yeah. So yeah. Now, baby, I said these people these is grown people. They real grown. Like, got grandkids kind of grown. So after Monique posts that, DL Hughley then came through and he done posted a video of just like really closing in on Monique's contract. And if you really look, it does say Hicks Media Inc. And let me tell you what he said. So he says, man, Hicks Media Inc. Hold up. That's you. You really showing everyone a contract you submitted from your own company? I smell bullshit. And I wouldn't pick it up with that old ass birth certificate paper it was written on. Stop the cap. Again, my contract says I was a headliner, highest paid artist on show, artist to have approval of lineup of the show, DL Hughley, closing. Now, explain to me how my shit was delivered on and yours wasn't. Sounds to me like your problem is with Hicks Media Inc. Can we please implement the 3 knockdown rule? Daryl Lynn Hughley. Hashtag Team DL. Hashtag Janky Promoters. Hashtag Funky Finger Productions. Hashtag TKO. DL Hughley is so petty for that. I'm not saying that anybody's right or wrong. What I am going to say is that the promoters were fucked up for pitting these two comedians against each other, because clearly that's what this is. Because on Monique's contract, it says that she's the headliner. And on DL stuff, it says that he's the headliner. But the only thing I will say is that on DL stuff, it does say that he also, not only is he the headliner, but he adjusts the lineup of the show. So even if he wasn't a headliner, he still adjusted the lineup of the show per his contract or deal memo, as Monique so eloquently pointed out. It's just too much. On a serious note though, these two niggas are funny. Both of them are funny. And I think that Monique, for her, she's just like, I have awards. You know, I have these prestigious awards. I closed, the Queens of Comedy. I was a headliner on the Queens of Comedy, and you were just the host on the Kings of Comedy. I feel like she's just kind of like one-upping him. And DL was like, okay, you were a headliner on the Queens of Comedy 25 years ago, 20 years ago, however long ago it was. And I've been actually working this whole time, and you have not. So have a seat. I think that's kind of what he's saying. And I don't think it was gender specific. I don't think he was like, oh, because you're a woman, you should sit the fuck down. And I don't think it was, oh, because you're just Monique. I think it was just more so, this is what my contract says. And I get it, that her contract also named her as a closer. And, it kind of looked like she should be closing. But regardless, DL's contract trumped hers because he also was given the job of arranging the show, not just headlining. So that takes things to a different level. So I think like this is just an embarrassing situation where I feel like Monique got in her feelings and she talked too much, and she should have just kept that to herself or had those conversations backstage and not on stage. Like, I don't think that if you have a 45-minute set, I don't think that 12 of those minutes should be talking about DL Hughley and him asking you, would you rather have Lee Daniels fuck your husband, or him fuck some woman without a, with a condom or without a condom. I don't think we cared to hear it. It was entertaining for sure because she's funny. So it was definitely entertaining. But as far as like, if I was a comedian, would I be like stoked to work with her? Fuck no. Girl, I would not want to work with you. Fuck around and give Monique a Twinkie and she asked for a coffee cake and you're gonna be blasted across the world. Like, yeah, no. And this is not about Black people or Black women being difficult to work with. It's not one of those situations. Like, I want her to stop pushing that narrative, because Black women get a lot of slack for being hard to work with, but this is not that. This is just some fucked up shit that happened to you because your daddy submitted this contract to a promoter, and the promoter was just like, girl, whatever. Unfortunately. But yeah, everybody is like talking shit about Monique right now, and I don't think it is that worthy of a situation. I don't think, either, I don't believe in cancel culture, but I don't think either of them should be canceled, or it's not even that serious. I'm sure the show was funny as hell, and I'm sure it's not a little hiccup, but the only person that's losing in this situation is Monique, because nobody's going to say, oh, I'm not coming to a DL show because he fell out with Monique. But people are saying, like, Monique, you got an issue with everybody, baby. Maybe it's you. Maybe the issue is you. And sometimes that's hard to hear, but maybe it's true. I don't know. I don't think, in this situation, the only thing I see that she did wrong was addressing the situation publicly. It should have been handled behind closed doors, and then you can come out and talk about it, but not the same night of the show. Not like this. Not like this. If you like my commentary, give me a like. Drop down in the comments. Let's talk. Or we could fight if you want. What's up? With words, of course. Share my video with your sister, your cousin, your brother, your uncle, your best friend. And subscribe so that every time I upload, you can be notified and you can meet me right back here. And before you know it, we're going to be the best of friends. Until next time.